guys, thank you so much for coming. Today, we're going to have an opportunity to listen to Mr. Martin Slutsky, who is the executive producer of the presidential debates. He's worked on the debates since the 2000 election, working with the moderators and the candidates and choosing venues and designing formats. Outside of the debates, he's worked over 35 years with ABC, producing special programs such as the Nelson Mandela's release from jail, multiple Super Bowls, Olympics, the 1989 World Series, the list goes on and on. He's also worked with the Commission on Presidential Debates around the world, trying to set up the debates in other countries. So, without further ado, Mr. Martin Slutsky.
Okay, great. You can slide it up.
Okay. Hi. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm Marty Slutsky, as you heard, executive producer, presidential debates. I've been doing them all since 2000, although I did one in, what was it, 92 also. But I'm going to run through a little PowerPoint real quick just to kind of set the scene, because I think the questions and discussion will probably be more important than looking at pictures. It's informal at any point, including during the PowerPoint. If you have a question, just raise your hand.
Wesley will come to you.
And
Thanks, Wesley.
And just ask away, because this is all about anything that I can help you with in the understanding of how we produce the debates. I will say that my discussion is usually nonpartisan, as difficult as it may be sometimes. So let's get started. Just quickly, I'm going to go through the production side of the debates. This is the normal debate that we use here in the U.S. We always have two candidates, although in '92 we had three. This is, as you can see, this is the normal stand-up debate with the moderator sitting down lower. I'm going to show you, those of you who are in production, is there anyone here from staging and theater and production type stuff? Ask away, because so far this is a wide shot of the debate set that you've seen here in the U.S. for years. We updated it just recently for 2016. This is a stage diagram of that set for the staging people. You see we use simple flats that can collapse. If we're in a bigger venue, we put more in the smaller venue, we make it smaller. We have our candidates here, our moderator we always do the moderator with their back to the audience. And then we use these cameras in the back of the set, because there's a hole here to shoot the pictures of the candidates. This is a seated debate. You see the big hole in the set. Those of you who have watched our debates know that there's a big hole in the back. In the back of the set is two cameras, the teleprompter for the moderator's opening and closing statements. That's the only time we use a teleprompter. The questions are done by the moderator without a teleprompter. Just a note about the questions. The debate commission never knows what the questions are. The only one who knows what the questions are is the moderator and their very small production staff. People always ask that. We want to stay out of that whole thing. Also, that's where my production team and myself sit back there and control the debate from back there. Again, a wide shot of that. and a diagram of that set. Our table that we use is right here. So we look over the top of the cameras, and again, we shoot the moderator from right there. Town meeting. This is a very difficult one. We reduced the size of the people. Remember the guy with the red shirt? He was a character from day one. When I met him, it was like, he was a character. Anyhow, this is what it looks like. We build these little risers for the participants, and the only ones who know the questions are the participants, the people, and the moderators. In the morning, the participants hand in their questions to the moderator the morning of the debate, and at that point, they do it on like a 3x5 card. The moderator during the day reads them all and decides which ones they want to ask. Here's a wide shot. This was Belmont, all right, in 08. Actually, this year, Belmont was the backup site. We always have a backup site. We do 4 debates. I'll be right with you. We do 4 debates, but we pick 5 sites. We prep 5 sites in case one falls out, which happened this year. Dayton, Ohio was a site, Wright State University, and 3 months before the debate, they said they can't afford it, they can't do it, and they backed out. And we went to, our backup site was Hofstra. But when that happened, we went right to Belmont, who has done it before, and said, please, 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 will you be our backup site? So, okay. Look, what's going on with my PowerPoint? Oh, I just switched to a Mac. I'm not totally compliant. What did I do here? Here, help me. Somebody under 60 help me. I know, it's here. See, there you go. Somebody under 60. Thank you. I'm making it, you know, it's a process. But I'm so glad I switched to it. But anyhow, I'm not doing commercials here. This is a diagram, stage diagram of the town meeting. This is an example of a panelist format, which we've done. In other words, you have a moderator and 3 journalists. Brokaw. We did the debate here at Belmont with Tom Brokaw. Okay. Uh-oh, guys. Help me. Help me. Oh, go up to slideshow. There you go. Yeah. Okay, there you go. All right. This was a primary debate from this season. So sometimes you have a debate with 8 or 9 people on stage, which makes really not a great debate because no one gets a long enough time to speak. You can't really probe people and get into their answers in detail. And what we like to do is have the moderator, once a candidate makes a statement, we want the moderator to go back and get more detail and really probe. And then on the smaller debates, we now try to get the candidates to talk to each other, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But anyhow, this is a multiple candidate. There's a debate full set for the set design people and staging folks. Moderator selection. I put this slide in just so the importance of picking a good moderator, a nonpartisan moderator, which is so hard to find. Someone who knows how to do television and is comfortable on television, not nervous and is used to all the technology, the earpiece, the IFB that they wear. They're used to using it, you know, me talking to them, which I do very, very sparingly. I don't use the IFB key. You see people on television, they all got a thing in their ear. They got some jerk like me sitting in these studios telling them what to do. I don't do that. I'm very careful about it. But anyhow, so the moderator has to be experienced and nonpartisan, and seen as nonpartisan. Very difficult to find. And at the commission, we always get grief for the moderators we pick, because someone thinks, well, why didn't you pick this one? Why didn't you pick that one? Being the debate commission, as we are, you gotta have thick skin. Someone's always got a problem. And just a note about the debate commission here in the US. The name commission is kind of misleading. It's not a government organization. It's a non-governmental organization they call it an NGO. Our sponsorship comes from corporations and the schools that host the debates. That's where our money comes from. We're not connected with the government in any way, although we're endorsed by the Federal Election Commission. That's all. Moving on. This is a rundown. Those of you who do television and are working on it, you will get this. This is what the moderator and myself use as a schedule for how the debate's going to run. In other words, the moderator, this was Gwen Eiffel, who's now no longer with us. This was the VP debate. I forget what year it was. The moderator gets a minute 15 to say, here we are at Belmont University, and tonight we have the first presidential debate, and yada, 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 and so on. Then we go to candidates enter. The most important thing, we leave 25 seconds for the candidates to enter. The most important thing that we always do, except maybe this cycle, because they wouldn't do it, was handshake. We want the people to see the candidates, shake hands, greet each other friendly, and then go to the debate. Because in so many countries around the world, there's violence involved with doing debates. And it's become something that all of us around the world that do debates want the picture in the paper, the morning of the newspaper, the morning after the debate, to be the picture of the handshake. That they can at least be friendly enough to shake hands. Then we go right into question 1. Gwen Eiffel got 15 seconds. Candidate A got a minute 30 to answer. Then she throws the question to this candidate B for a minute 30. And then there's a discussion segment of 4 minutes with Gwen Eiffel and candidates A and B, which is that discussion segment is really controlled by the moderator. So again, the moderator's got a really important job. Okay. And then this is the end of the debate. I'm going to go through that. This is the copy that we put in the teleprompter, the words for the moderator. They write it basically, but I just included this as an example. Good evening and welcome to the third and last presidential debate of 2008, sponsored by the blah, 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 blah. You've heard it, those of you who've watched the debate. Again, the handshake. The importance, that's what we want in the media and social media and newspapers. We want that. Audio is a big deal. We want to make sure that the candidates can hear each other, hear the questions. We want no excuses that they couldn't hear. So we go to great lengths to make sure that they have speakers right close to them that you don't see on television, that they can hear the moderator and then the other candidate. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to. Yes. What was your question?
My question is, how do you select the citizens who are part of the town hall debate?
The Gallup poll polls the city where the debate is going to be. This time it was St. Louis for undecided voters. We try to find undecided voters, and Gallup poll goes to great lengths to poll people all around and in that area, because we don't want to fly them in from somewhere else, and let them ask the questions. That's how that's done. Okay? Yes? Oh.
Sorry. So how does the debate commission respond when you have an election like this one where in the first debate Donald Trump suggested that his mic was not working properly? How does the debate commission respond to allegations of showing partiality either way?
We deal with it. To be honest, it was a painful moment for us, that accusation and that whole thing. And quite honestly, we know it didn't happen. It wasn't us. It happened, but it wasn't us. And I explained that to President Trump. He asked me about it at the next debate. And I said, I can explain to you what it was. I'll try to do it very quick. He was very late for his sound check. Each candidate gets an hour to come in and do a sound check and rehearsal, see the set, talk on their microphone, all that stuff on the day of the debate, right? Separately, because they can't see each other. They're like prize fighters, you know. So when he had an hour, he came in to do his sound check and rehearsal with 5 minutes left, right? He blew off 55 minutes of his time. And we were backed up against the evening news with all the networks, right? Coming on and doing their live shots for the evening news. So he was out there for 5 minutes, and he talked, and he talked on his microphone, and because we were all rushing because the news media were freaking out. They wanted to get up on their platform, and he set his level, right? It was a medium level. It was good, and we used very sensitive microphones. So then he left. There literally 5 minutes. He came out, and he decided to talk very quiet for the beginning of that debate, right? Right? And so we reset the limiters, on the microphones. The audio people, the geeks in here, will know that you have compressor limiters. We reset them and open them up, right? So we could hear them. And the people on television heard everything perfectly, right? So then as he started getting hot, he started getting excited, and the debate got into it. He was now leaning on this little condenser microphone, and the compressors were slamming, right? For the PA compressors, and it was pumping it down. So it was kind of going in and out when that happens. And his wife was sitting in the front row going like that, right? So I explained that. So when he came out, I explained that to him. Although everyone knew it was a big kerfuffle, his people were yelling at us, and we were being nonpartisan. We were being partisan, and we did it on purpose. So it's tough, believe me. And I explained to him exactly just what I told you, right? And he said, "Oh, okay." But that didn't stop the upset. The one thing about being with the debate commission, you gotta have thick skin. You just tell the truth. If we screwed up, I'd have told them. But we didn't. They didn't want to hear that. Okay, so that's it. All right, let's keep going. Audio is so important. Okay, see, look at you. I'm a mess. What am I doing here? And no, I don't.
Yay.
Thank you. Okay, this is this is '08. Back, you know, we have timing devices, so the candidates don't talk too long, right? Now, of course, we've gotten into the 2000s. We have laptops, right? Right? Back then we had stoplights, red, right? Like traffic lights, and somebody hitting a button, right? So the candidates know, and the candidates all see it, the moderators see it, see the lights, and so they know if they got 3 minutes to talk. First it's green, then amber, and then like with 10 seconds left, it turns red, and they know it's time to shut up. They often don't shut up. And at that point, again, the moderator's experience comes into play. They have to use their experience to get them to shut up without insulting them, right? Usually, this kind of movement is the best, and and then if they keep going, then they got to say something. Okay, stoplight. The next one is a picture of our old stoplights. I'm embarrassed. I really got to take that out. Lighting is gigantic. It's huge. You have to, lighting is all important. When they come and do their sound check and everything, and they do a lighting check. They bring their own lighting people with light meters that go around to everybody and make sure that everybody's lights are the same. Right? It's pretty tense. It's intense, right? So this is when we blow into town, it's like a rock show. You know, it's the same kind of rig and sound system. We bring our own sound system. We bring our own sets. It's like a really big rock show. Cameras, of course, you need cameras. This is a stupid picture of some friends of mine. Still photographers. We always include the print press and still photographers. We put stair-step platforms on the sides so that they can come in and get pictures. We also have on the set where they walk in on the sides, robo cameras, remote controlled cameras, still cameras, so that they can get the shots on stage, still photographers. So we include them. We want to, the media, it's all about the media. This is a time when the media, television, radio, newspapers, social media, have to step up to the plate and deliver this debate, these messages to the American public. It's a responsibility. That's how we treat it. Sometimes the media thinks it's a commercial entity and they try to introduce all kinds of silly stuff in it, like some of my friends, certain cable that have little people on the bottom and little graphs and all this stuff on there, you know. You'll see that's what you watch when you're at home, you know. That's not our feed. The feed that we put out is just the debate. We don't want the discussion. We want people to sit and listen to the discussion. Make your decision. Evaluate your candidate. Our feeling is, and my feeling, I'll just speak maybe for myself, is you don't need social media with little bars and graphs on the screen to tell you what's happening. That's for the rest of this debate season. You're inundated with that. This is a very rare time in the debate, in the election season, where you're sitting there evaluating, looking at the candidate, saying what they're saying, how they're saying it, how they look, their body language, all of that. It's a very personal time, and I get upset when they clutter the screen with what other people are thinking about the debate. That's for after. So that's one of my pet peeves. Yes?
Are y'all in any way involved, or how do you handle when a candidate says something that's clearly false? How do y'all handle that?
That's up to the moderator. Frequently, the moderators will come to us, and it did happen this time, and the a moderator wanted us to fact check, right? That was the big term this time. We don't fact check. That's up to the people and the moderator. We don't do that. People at home need to be watching, paying attention, and if they think someone's BSing them, pardon my language, they need to research it and figure it out for themselves. See, so much of the media now spoon feeds to the public, right? There's a responsibility for voting. It's a very big responsibility, voting. People in the rest of the world are fighting and dying for the right to vote. We have it. And it's become like the election season's become like another sporting event or something, where people need to research and get involved and pay attention. And that's my philosophy of producing the debates. So, but we don't fact check. Yes?
What do you do between the periods where there aren't any debates?
Okay. Well, I do regular TV for people, personally. But the debate commission is very active in debates around the world. They sponsor a international debate organization. Right now, there's 80 members from around the world, countries that are doing debates, countries that are trying to do debates or want to, and we do every year we do a meeting in Washington. We bring these 80 people to the NDI, National Democratic Institute in Washington, and we do a 3-day seminar. It's kind of like group therapy for debate people. We all get together for 3 days and share experiences, right? So this is a very important part of what we do. Actually, I was in East Timor last week doing debates, trying to get them organized and helping them they've never done them properly before. East Timor. It's off the north coast of Australia. It's a brand new country, just became a country 2002. And they're doing a great job. They're going to have debates soon. But we go all over the world. That's one of the things we do. The other thing, 2 years before the debate, in other words, in 2018, myself and 2 other people, another producer and a Secret Service agent, start going to all the schools that have contacted us and said they want to host a debate in 2020. We already have about 10 schools, right? So we'll spend most of 2018 visiting them all, just checking them out, mostly to see if they have the physical plan to host a debate and the media center and all the other things. So that's what we do. Okay? The international thing has become huge, real huge. I gotta stop saying that. It's become very big, and something that's a labor of love for most of us that do it. Actually, I did 5 flights to get to East Timor last week, and 4 flights to get home. It's rough, but when you're there working with these people that have not done debates and want to do debates, it's so inspirational. I can't, you could imagine. They're great because we blow into town and spend a week or so organizing debates. These people are living there in countries where the incumbent president or prime minister thinks he's got a job for life. And they're like, or she, and they're going, what do I have to debate for? I'm already president. You know, like, it's unpopular. So in some of these countries, these people are really taking a chance. Yes?
Going back to the handshake, it's such a very important thing at the beginning of the debates. Is that more of an implicitly suggested thing that the candidates know that they should do, or something that you rehearse?
Yes. Yeah. Well, when I do my rehearsals with them, I always show them how to do it. Right? In other words, I'll take a candidate and say, okay, you stand here, you stand here, you walk out, come out, shake hands, and then turn around and go to your lectern. I do that with them. And I ask them to shake hands. If they don't want to, I can't make them.
So in this past election season, was there a mutual agreement between the two candidates that they didn't want to shake hands?
Yes, in the first debate, I think when was it? By the second or the town hall, right? They refused. They were so hostile to each other at that point that it just wasn't happening.
Do you think that a simple like a handshake might have, if this election was so divided, do you think that might have?
It couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt. I mean, at that point, it was so polarized that who knows? But I think it would, for the public at home, it would have been good. I thought. Yeah, you know.
Speaking on like the elections in like foreign countries, doesn't like the Department of like Political Affairs from the UN like kind of handle all that? When you're talking about like regulating and kind of assisting countries with their elections and things, you can see stuff like that. They're working before.
The only thing, and I've done a lot. I've been doing the international stuff since 2002. We've met with the UN in these countries. They're very supportive, and they sometimes will help fund them, right? But in terms of organizing them, no. I mean, they're supportive, but they don't really get involved in them. Yes?
So then, just really quick, going back to the town hall from this last election season, was that something that happened on the spot, like them not shaking hands, or was that, or were they refusing like the whole time?
No, it was on the spot. It was, when I did the walkthrough with them, we talked about the handshake, and they didn't say they would or did or would. Well, also, no, Hillary never did her walkthrough. Uma did it. Her, you know, her second in command. Uma always did her rehearsal. Hillary never came to the rehearsals. But when we did the walkthrough, they never said to me that they weren't going to do the handshake. But the situation had become so difficult.
Well, there was the like a surprise press conference or something that Trump did like an hour before the debate happened. I don't know. So is that abnormal for the candidate not to do the rehearsals and to send someone else instead?
Yes. Yes. I mean, there's no rule that says they can't do that. But it was, to be honest, I think it was the first time since I've been doing it where they sent someone else. Yes. Yeah. And it was the first time that a candidate didn't show up on time for their walkthrough. So there were a lot of groundbreaking things, you know, this time. Yes. Good one. Yes, ma'am. You can just yell too.
In terms of security, what did it look like in this debate compared to past ones that you've been in?
Oh boy. it was bigger than we've ever seen before. It was, well, first of all, now, once we, 2 years before the debate, as I said, 2018, when we started going to the sites that we weren't sure, you know, just surveying, because we went to 18 sites to pick 4 sites, schools, right? We had a Secret Service with us, the same one, at all of those surveys, right? It was great, because he can drive and not get tickets. That was cool. But yes, to get back to the requirements of the Secret Service, who really run the security at the debates, were much higher this time. And as a result, you'll hear from some of the sites that it cost them a lot more money. Things like, they used to do the fence, we do a compound, a big fence around the debate area, right? It used to be like, you know, that kind of fence about yo high, like they have at concerts and stuff, right? Now they require like a 7-foot non-scalable fence around the entire event. And it's patrolled by police the whole time. Yeah, much more security, definitely. Yes, ma'am.
How do you decide who's
Good question. Oh, yes. Well, it's the debate commission, the schools people, it's the campaigns, advanced people, and surrogates, and all this other stuff, and the candidates and the audience are the people, and the tech people. They all go. We have a credentialing company called Artie. They do all the big events. They just did the inauguration. They vet every. You have to fill out a fairly detailed form, email it in with a picture. It goes through the Secret Service database, and they either you're in or you're out, and then they send it back to Artie, and Artie picks the credentials. So before you can get a credential, you have to do this, and there's a deadline ahead of time. So it's a big deal. It's a big process. Right? That's how you get in. Now, who gets in to the audience is always a big issue. You can't buy tickets. The tickets are divided to the campaigns, the school, and the commission. So the campaigns give out the tickets to their political parties, and the school will usually give most of their tickets to students, and then the commission gives them to various politicians and some of our sponsors too. Yes, you have a question?
Yes, could you comment on the audience's role in this debate, and like specifically the cheering? What do you think about that? Like the cheering that was done.
Okay. The audience in the room should not even be part of the debate. This is the commission's thinking. And they're honored guests. The audience for the debate is the millions and millions of people that are watching the debate at home, on radio, social media, television. You know, we get ratings that are Super Bowl ratings, right? Because we're on all the networks at the same time with no commercials. There's very few events that are. State funerals, inauguration, and State of the Union and debates is the only thing that gets on all the networks at the same time with no commercials. So that's what the debate is about. The 600, 700, 800 people that are in the room need to shut up enjoy being there. That's basically the thing. And they're warned, it's on their tickets. If they make noise, or if they even have to get up and go to the bathroom, or they're removed, they're taken out. So the audience, it's not about the audience, it's about the American people watching their next president speak. Okay?
We
more
have
questions?
about 5 more minutes
Okay.
left. So, we want to just kind of start to wrap things up here.
All right.
So, I know some of y'all, if y'all have 5th period IS, then.
Well, I just want to say, and we're going to wrap up, that being a media person, which I've been for years and years, I strongly feel that the commercial media in any country who are making money, come on, they're all making money, have a responsibility to the public to broadcast the debates and distribute them to the American people for free. And we do that here in the United States. In many, many countries, that doesn't happen. And on some level, I'm proud of the American media for doing that. Back when television was done over antennas, they had to do. The FCC insisted that they do some public service broadcasting. Okay, so all of the, as I call them, the older networks like ABC, NBC, the traditional networks, legacy networks, a lot of people call them, ABC, CBS, not CNN. Thank you. They come from that history of where they broadcast over airwaves, and the airwaves were public airwaves. So they had a responsibility to do some public service, right? So they have a tradition of it, and they have no problem with doing this for free, right? But now, you know, the cable networks, certainly the social media people now are joining in. They're showing up, you know, they're not doing commercials. So we're lucky we have that history. And I think that we are very lucky in the U.S. that our media is doing that. And I'm proud of it. I wish they wouldn't put so much crap on the screen while the debate's going on. But sometimes I say it's better to have a debate than a perfect debate, right? Get your candidates out there to state their case, let the people see them, hear them, think about it, and I would say, let me just finish one thought, and we can go to more questions. I would just say that you guys are now in charge. I don't want to scare you, but you guys are the future of the country and maybe the world. And your participation in the political process, in terms of researching and understanding what each candidate stands for, is in your hands, because you're going to be the creators of laws and certainly how this country runs. Like we were back in the 60s and 70s, you know. We were very, shall we say, vocal, you know. And you guys need to pay attention to it. And I know you will. I know you will. And I just want to thank you for your participation in the political process going forward. I mean, we'll be doing debates. least I'm in there, I've agreed through 20. Someone else will be doing it. But it's more than that. That's just the final, right before the election. There's so much that goes on before, and I would ask you to participate in it through the whole process. Question?
Yeah, speaking of getting the public informed of the candidate choices, has the commission given much consideration to lowering the 15% threshold to allow a third-party candidate or two in the debate?
Yes, they have. Actually, we're being sued about it right now. There's no organization that has better lawyers than us. There's no time in history where we're not being sued by at least 2 or 3 people. And that's that's the biggest case. The FCC, early on in the Debate Commission's history, agreed that our criteria was a good one. That's that you have a campaign headquarters in enough states to possibly win the Electoral College, that you have 15% in the public polls, the big polls, and you are constitutionally eligible to be president. That's the criteria. Now, the 15% has been what has been used, and Ross Perot got in. I did that debate. But now there's a hue and cry and a big lawsuit to have that criteria lowered. My feeling is, to be honest, and the commission won't like me say that, I'd like to see it lowered. Right? Production-wise, 3 candidates is no problem. Right? But when it gets to that level, we have a board of directors that make those decisions, right? So that's where it stands right now.
Okay, so if y'all have any follow-up questions here, so Tom did with the class, I'll send out an email saying you're going to be a couple minutes late. If you have some curious and if you have a couple of questions, remember this has all been recorded, it's all available online. Follow the nightly news and thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.